I'm going to be showing you a clip of John Rich and Tucker Carlson talking about a song that John Rich made. And he felt called to make this song. And this song was about revelations. It was about the end times. And then 10 days later, just 10 days later, this happens, Paris, France. Tucker and John hit the nail on the head. I can't believe that they made this interview and then all of a sudden this happens very shortly after. But and just before they did this interview, John just felt pulled. He felt pulled to make this song, to put this out there so people understood revelations and what is about to happen. Very interesting stuff. Going to end it off with a clip of Joe Rogan talking about something called If I Were the Devil, which actually pertains to everything you're going to see along the way. But let's start with Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
But, you know, the entrance of the song says, dancing in the flames, the people cursed his name, talking about Jesus, and bowed at the altar of the father of lies. But there's a number to their days and all their evil ways. The Lord's going to turn away from all their cries, meaning at the end. And what that's talking about is when you watch the Super Bowl halftime show, or you watch the Grammy Awards, or you watch some of these big concerts and music videos where they are putting satanic symbolism right in your face. They are practicing witchcraft on the stage right in front of you. You're watching a football game or an award show and with your kids, and now whammo, straight evil coming straight at you. We've all seen this now. Somebody has to counter that. You know, these guys have all these massive budgets, the entertainment value, the ability to produce those things at such a high level, it's impossible to look away from it. You know, it's like boom, pow, huge, special effects, all this stuff, and everybody's just mesmerized, and it's going right into them. So on Revelation...
Wait, can I just ask you to pause?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually haven't seen any of that because I don't have TV, but I've read that this happens.
Yeah.
Why? Why are they pushing Satan worship on television?
Because they're doing the work of their father, just like I am.
Wow. And there's kind of no denying. I mean, they're not getting richer by pushing satanic symbols.
Sure they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the industry, you know, the way those movie industries, music industries, all of that. Now, not everybody in those industries obviously is, you know, some kind of a Satan worshiper or something, but there's a lot of that in there. There's a lot of that in there, and they have spent decades programming us from a young age to think those things are fine and normal, and they get rewarded for that. You know, that people that really serve the father of lies, they get rewarded by him when they proclaim his word and do what he tells them to do. And so Revelation is the other side of that. That's why I went to such extremes with this video, because I wanted it to compete visually with what people are used to seeing. I didn't want it to be like some one-dimensional looking thing. I wanted it to be up to the level to what people are used to seeing. If we're going to combat, if we're going to present both sides, play at a high level, bring it at a high level. And that's why we went so far with it.
It's so interesting to see the way you're framing this. So you're framing it very differently. It's not just that the media and entertainment businesses are liberal or in the pocket of the Democratic Party. You're saying that they're pushing a theology on the country.
100%. No doubt about it. You know, the devil, he's scared to death of Jesus Christ. I mean, it says in the scripture, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Flee, like wet his pants and run out the door if you deny him. If you go, nope. Of course, with Jesus in you, you go, get out of here. And he will. He'll take off running. And so you're not supposed to have fear of him. The only one you're supposed to fear if you're a Christian is not the ones who can kill your body. It says, don't fear the ones who can kill your body. Fear the one who can kill your body and kill your soul, meaning the creator, the boss, Jesus Christ, the Trinity. And so I look at this situation as, man, if he's going to hit me with this song, and trust me, it makes me nervous. I'm a little nervous right now, just sitting here talking about it. But if he's going to task me with that, someday when I go see him, I'm gonna have to answer for a lot of things I didn't do right. But I hope this is one where he goes, but you did a good job on that one because I gave you the song, I told you what to do with it, and you did it. You put it out there.
When you say these things, you're not saying them as someone who's guessing. I mean, you've been in the entertainment business your whole life, over 30 years, since you were a kid, I think.
19, yep.
19. So, I mean, you know how it works. Again, this is not something that you read, it's something you've seen. When did it become clear to you that this was a theology, that these people were working knowingly or not on behalf of evil, actual evil? Like, when did that dawn on you?
Well, they got so arrogant with it, it seems like in maybe the last less than 10 years. I don't know what happened on their side, but I guess they got the green light to go all the way in. And that's when you started seeing, for instance, Grammy Award performances where people are literally coming out wearing satanic symbols. They are carrying out, I guess they were mock seances, but I mean, it looked pretty real to me. And all of this stuff started happening. Even some of your biggest artists in the world during their live concerts in full of giant stadiums, full of people, are doing these things out on the stage. In between their hit songs, they'll come out as just part of the production of the show. It's art. It's just art. I mean, go look at, there's a rapper named Lil Nas out there. And trust me, everybody watching, you won't know, but everybody watching this, most people will know what I'm talking about. When you see him giving a lap dance to the devil in his video. Straight up. And they are not ashamed about it. You look at Eminem's new record where the titles are Lucifer, Antichrist, Evil. This is out right now. So I don't know what happened on their side to go pedal to the metal with it, but they absolutely did. So on the other side of that, what are we supposed to do in response to that? Just yell at it, scream at it, be disgusted by it? You can do all those things.
Well, the first thing
take
you're
action.
doing is naming it. You're naming it. Which I think is so interesting. You're calling it what it is. You're not falling for the lie, which is this is just art.
Right.
It's more than that. I mean, maybe it's art. Right. We can debate that, but it's certainly more than that. This is a theology. You're pushing a religion on me.
Yeah.
And it's a religion of darkness and lies.
Right. And they're pushing the same, their same theology, because it is that, on our kids. They're pushing it in schools. They're pushing it in pop culture. They're pushing it everywhere you turn around. You can't get away from it. I mean, we're inundated with it right now. We are swimming in what these people have put out there.
It's just really important to know what you're dealing with and to say it out loud. And
yes.
I think if you had said that to me 5 years ago, I would have thought, well, really like John Rich, a little far out. But now,
nothing I'm saying right now. Anybody that's had a TV set on in the past year knows what I'm talking about.
It's just beyond. Thank you.
Man, and just to add, he's talking about you need to counter that. And it's crazy that he gets a calling to make this song. He makes the song. He puts it out. It does really well. And now everything I'm about to show you in regards to the Olympics, just so you know, because this Tucker clip is more updated. I had to redo this part. But every single video as of now, in terms of the official places where it was coming out, from their YouTube pages and their Instagrams and their Twitters, all of it got shut down. The push was so strong from people who were on the side of good, people like John, that it outweighed the people who were doing all the things that I'm going to show you that's going on in the Olympics. So when he's talking about you need to counter it, you really do, because the good people, and I'm not saying just people who are following Christ, but the good people who know the difference between good and evil and can see what's going on, they just had major impact. Because usually it goes the other way around. Usually it's the weird, depraved stuff that gets to flourish, and it gets the millions of views and everything. And then the person that is a follower of Christ or any religion that's trying to push some music or some good out into the world, they get silenced. This time, other way around. All right, let's get into the rest of the video. Let's go. Oh man, this guy calls it perfectly. To be watching that interview and then have it less than 2 weeks later have this obvious, exactly what they're talking about, this theology, have this whole thing pushed in your face. You know, for a lot of you out there, he said about in the past 10 years, but I'm sure a lot of you have noticed this. I know I'm one person. I've noticed this for the past 20 years, especially if you listen to hip hop and you've watched the evolution of hip hop and what it's become. And then you learn the symbolism and then you learn the terminologies. You start seeing, yeah, I saw it first in hip hop and then I started seeing it more in pop music. And then when you look back into rock and roll, you'll see it all over there as well. And it's just, and it's sad because a lot of people are attached to these artists because it gives you the nostalgia and that's what you listen to as a kid. And this guy's given me so many good memories through his songs. That guy can't be all bad. It's like, check out the music again, learn the terminology, learn the symbolism, and then take a look at the music and you'll start seeing it everywhere. It's actually pretty sad. Now, what I'm going to start with is this gentleman, because this gentleman is the one that's responsible for all of the imagery that took place at the Olympics. Now, I guess I'll just mute it because let me verify that he's speaking French. I'm pretty sure he is.
On fait un spectacle où chacune puisse se sentir à un moment donné représenté comme faisant.
So he's speaking French. So right now he's saying, how do you write a show in which everybody at one point feels represented and a part of this bigger thing? And then he goes on to say, for an artist, it's a beautiful responsibility to have. I want you to hear what he's saying. It's an ambitious, but also complex. It's ambitious, but also complex because it has one has to broaden one's own imagery. And I think he's translating into imagination because it is French. And then from there, he says, let's keep going. And he says one's own outlook and include everybody, understand everyone, that no one feels left behind. Now, this is what he did so no one felt left behind. I don't even know if I can show you that image. Here, I'm going to go here instead. So we start off with, if you know anything about the pale horse who had a man named Death atop of the horse. This is how it starts, with this very dark image. And I know for some people who don't know about this stuff, you're like, that's a pretty horse. What are you talking about? Then there is an attack of sorts on the Statue of Liberty. Then there is the whole Last Supper debacle. Now, these are all people who are dressed as women and possibly identify as women. In the center right there, if you can't tell, that is Jesus in the center right there, depicted as someone who doesn't look like what we know Jesus to look like. There is a whole bunch to this stuff. Now, I'm going to just do this because I don't know about this image. There's an image up there. It is. So the reason I made myself real big there is because there's a guy here, this blue guy. He's depicted as Jesus in the whole Last Supper. The way his flesh, his blood, everything like that. So this guy's basically sitting on a table, okay, the dinner table. That's why you can see that lady behind him. And he is covered in fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. He is not wearing clothes. And yeah, so there's just a whole lot to this stuff. Then if I shrink this a little bit, you will see a lady sorry. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Jeez. Okay. So we'll just show this. This is how it starts off. So this is how they're starting it out. Right? And I'm just going to read what people took this as, because this is the whole pale horse thing. This is actually from Revelation. And it says, I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed after him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with beasts of the earth. And that is what you're seeing at the start of it. Then, I don't want to go too far up here. Then we have this whole thing with the man He's on a dinner table again. This is the Last Supper. This gentleman is on a dinner table, leaving not much to the imagination. YouTube, don't try and do anything now. I'm not showing the other part, and I'm making sure to. I'm being very good about this, YouTube. But this man's sitting on this table, covered in food and whatnot, singing a little song. And also, is he about to stand up? I got to be careful. Easy there, buddy. Easy. Don't be standing up on me now. No, I won't look down. No, you're not going to. Hey, easy there, buddy. Hey. This is out of control. This is what the Olympics chose to show. Things that you can't even show on YouTube. Now, they actually took down this video. This is what this is depicting. I'll just show you on a larger screen. Oh, well, we can always get to this guy. Girl, person, whatever. So they're crawling on the ground, dancing suggestively. They're also on the table, right? There's this whole thing going on. It's so wild. People are saying this is very much like Sodom and Gomorrah. Full beard, long hair, androgynous. Just very, very wild. Then they had little things like this. I don't even want to hear it. Headless person. And then it spans out. A lot of fire. A lot of people playing guitars. Just a wild scene. Just a lot of wild scenes in this whole thing. But, you know, this is what people were mainly... It was the whole thing, but a lot of people were upset with this depiction. The Last Supper here. A lot of people are pointing out that there is a child standing there. And that doesn't seem like much, but the person behind her wasn't leaving much to the imagination. So just to say that, you know, we move on. Again, there's this guy. So again, the opening, they actually removed it from YouTube. Now, people are saying, oh, they removed it because of all the backlash. I think YouTube removed it. That's what I think happened. You know? Well, you know, and I can't even be sure. I can't be sure. Because if it was just removed, then it wouldn't be showing up like this. This is not how videos like this show up. They might have even made it private. Not 100% sure. But they received some major backlash. A lot of people were upset. Jillian Michaels, who is a very liberal woman, but also very based at the same time. She left California because she couldn't stand the woke nonsense. She had this to say: "My fellow gays, we demand tolerance and respect, but then we make a mockery of something sacred for over 2 billion Christians. This type of hypocrisy and lack of understanding is a bad look. We get outraged when the extreme right bashes us, but then we do stuff like this. What kind of reaction do you think they will have towards the LGBT community after this? This is not how we break down barriers. It's how we build them." And again, this is just a depiction of the Last Supper, having this lady here depicted as Jesus. And yeah, it was just all bad. George Janko, he has a great podcast. He used to be a part of Logan Paul's clan. He's a big Christian guy. Interviewed some incredible people. Jordan Peterson, Tate. He's interviewed all sorts of people. He's amazing. I hit that follow button on George. I'm respectfully not watching the Olympics this year. I'd ask that you peacefully do the same. A lot of people had some choice words. Andrew Tate said, "I will be placing signs outside the French embassy in Romania tomorrow, 7 p.m. Respect Jesus. He is a Muslim himself. He converted, but his brother is still a Christian. And, you know, the Quran has many, many mentions of Jesus Christ." Pierce Morgan says, "By the way, what the F is all of this about?" He says, "What the F is all of this about? A drag queen mockery of the Last Supper at the Olympics. Would they have mocked any other religion this way?" And 100% not. They're not going to do this to Judaism. They're not going to do this to Islam. There would be way too much of a backlash. Obviously, Tim Kennedy even chimed in. Tim Kennedy said the Olympic opening ceremony was sad and represented a tiny fraction of society. Let's end it off with a Joe Rogan clip. This clip is called If I Were the Devil. This was made in 1965. Joe Rogan and the person that he is sitting with play this recording and tell me that what we're talking about today, what Tucker Carlson and John Rich were talking about, tell me that this exact clip, what this gentleman's saying, doesn't pertain to today, right now. Let's get into it.
Paul Harvey, you know who that is?
Sure.
So he did a thing, God, back in the 60s or 70s, and he equated it to the devil. And maybe it is. Or you could also say it's just that. But he did a radio piece on how to destroy America, the social fabric of it.
Wow.
And it's as though somebody just took America, the social fabric of America from the late 60s to today. And the timeline of the things that he said. It's pretty wicked. It's pretty powerful.
Wow.
Well, it's about
Maybe
the
let's
devil.
play that. Pull that up, because I haven't heard that. And I've heard the Bezmenov thing. We played it like 5 times, at least.
It'll blow your mind.
Paul Harvey.
Is this the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have prisons overflowing. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse.
That's amazing. 65. Wow. April 3rd, 1965. Paul Harvey nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the plan has been underway for a long time. And, a lot of people talk about it being a battle of good and evil. And it sounds crazy when you hear it a few years ago, 10 years ago. It sounds nonsensical. And as the years go by, it becomes more and more apparent. And now we have this thing going on with France. and so many other things. This is just the most current thing happening in regards to that topic right now. But we're seeing this all the time. We're seeing this all the time. And when you look around at everything that's being subverted and turned upside down, you know, Paul Harvey, if you were the devil, what's happening right now would be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Helps the channel tremendously. Other than that, I'm out.